Hey everybody, it's Linda with Stamping School, playing around with some new pre-order goodies from the new Stampin' Up! Annual catalog that will begin May 3rd. These are papers, designer papers, so you get 2 each of these sheets of 12 by 12, plus they've added a whole bunch of die cuts in it. So these just pop out, and they're not very thick. They're really just like paper, but they're cute and they coordinate. And this goes along with a request that I had from Rachel in Pennsylvania. And she asked what to do with it. And she also does not have a die cutting machine and said, can you show me how to make some cards without using any dies? So I'm gonna show you 6 cards using these papers and these die cut thingies. No stamping and no dies. And they're pretty easy to put together. But let me show you the papers up close. The color palette is basic black, Sahara Sand, Cajun Craze, Early Espresso, Soft Succulent, and then some pops of crushed curry in there. And you can see this one is barbecue, and this one is, you know, ties and dressy shoes and glasses and that sort of thing, little bow ties. Kind of reminds me of that Dapper suite that we had a while back. And some antique cars. And I love it when they do a tone on tone with that Argyle camping. And then of course the die cuts. And then the other side, tone on tone in the Cajun Craze and more. This is a little tiny check, little Sahara Sand basket weave. So really nice, and then a little plaid. So even though it's called He's the Man, I know plenty of women who like to grill, who like to camp, who like beer, who like cars. So if that fits, you know, someone in your life, then like it does mine, then this is really for anybody. Now, I did not get the stamp set and the dies, but they have sentiments that coordinate with this, like, you know, love this guy and holy smokes, you're amazing, you know, to kind of go with the barbecue theme. Father's Day, to the man who does everything, those sort of stamps that kind of fall in with this paper. So I'm gonna leave these die cut thingies right here, and we're gonna use them as I go along. Now this first card has a white, thick cardstock base, and I cut 2 pieces, 4 inches by 5 1/4 out of the designer paper. And we're going to cut it diagonally. And it's not gonna matter how perfect it is. I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna save these 2 for something else. And these are gonna get glued on right here. I do love the color palette. I love Sahara Sand and white, and oh, actually I'm gonna do this way on this one. I love the color palette though. This one will go up top here. And then I'm gonna add some colorful stripes in the middle, and don't worry that this does not match up. It won't matter because we're gonna cover this part here. I've got a 1-inch piece of white. Now if you have your silicone pad handy, it's really good to glue on if you have it. This is a 1-inch piece by 5 1/2 inches. And these are 1/4 inch by 5 1/2. We're gonna start with the yellow, which is a curry. It's going right down the center. I'm gonna leave a little bit of white in between. And this is longer because it has to go diagonally this way. Right, then this is soft succulent. A little bit of glue here, right along the edge. And one more. And then all we have to do is trim off diagonally, and we're just gonna mark it with a pen. Put your 2 green strips on first, and then this one in the middle. I had to readjust a little bit. We're gonna mark this right where we want it, and you can't go upside down and do it like I did here. I marked it upside down, and then it doesn't fit. So we have to do it this way. And just make your little marks right here, right here. This is an erasable pen that helps a little bit. And snip, snip, and there we go. Now you can take a little bit more off. A little bit more work, but I really do like the color combo. Now for this one, I'm gonna go into my die cuts here. You Make Me Happy. I do love a good beer. I live near Asheville, which is one of the beer capitals of the States, I think. And lots of breweries around here. It's a lot of fun to try different craft beer. Now you want to have glue dots, mini dimensionals, regular dimensionals, because these guys need a little extra something something. So sometimes you need to pop them up. But in this case, I just glued this one down. In this suite, there's also rustic metallic dots, and they have adhesive on them already. And they're not gold, they're not bronze, they're just metallic. They're a real nice in-between rustic looking thing right there. In this card, I actually put this guy here. I'm not sure if I like it or not, but it's in here. And now on the inside, we're going to take one of these pieces that we used right here. We're also going to glue on this little yellow strip. Let's do it upside down like this. There we go. And glue this on along the edge. And then I can trim that off. I'm not a fan of the curry, but I love it with this suite because it really gives it that extra little punch of color. And we're gonna do cheers to the years right here, this cute little one with a beer on it. So that went together pretty fast. There, no dies, no stamping. I've got room to write a little something up here and to sign it down here. All right, so there's number 1. All right, I'll show you this one in advance. This one is You're Stronger Than You Know. So this one starts with a Cajun Craze card. And I actually started in the middle on this one and then put strips down. But it was a little wonky to get them nice and straight. So I decided that I would do it this way and just build my layers. So I'm going to start with the yellow, that curry. And then I'm going to add a strip of the espresso on top. So this is going to take more paper. So if you're trying to save paper, you can do the little 1/4 inch strips. But I'd rather use more paper and not have to monkey with keeping everything straight. And this paper, the Sahara sand. So I went with a little bit skinnier layer. I also made the card top folding just in case I needed to, trim any of this up because it goes right to the edge. And then these are just the die cuts. So I've got the hand, and I'm going to put those up with dimensionals. There's this one, and the little tools here. I did trim off this part right here because I felt like I wanted a little bit more color behind it. So I made a little 1/4 inch banner. Just trimmed it out by hand, this little guy. I'm gonna add a little bit of glue and stick that down here. And then I can put that, you can put it straight up. I kind of like it on the side like that. And like that, up on dimensionals. And then 2 of the little studs, these little metal guys right here and right here. And then on the inside, I pretty much did the same thing. So it'll be white, and then that rust paper and a little curry, or you can do the strips. And then I did the hooray, and I trimmed that out by hand right there. Trim that one out. And you did it down here. So that's card number 2. Number 3, for the car guy, you're a classic. I know exactly who this card is going to. My friend Robert, his birthday's coming up, and he loves antique cars. He loves them, so this is going to him. So I'm just doing espresso card and 1.5 inches of this. Remember, you can print all of the directions. I have a recipe with measurements in the link below the video, and it'll take you to the PDF for those. So 1.5 inches, and I might put it under. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and put it underneath. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to put a little bit of this tape right here, and then on this little piece of curry, I just want a little bit showing right here and right here. Same thing on the bottom. Little 1/4" strip. If it's too hard to aim for the 1/4", then just do a 1/2 inch piece if you're going to tuck it behind anyway. All right, and then the adhesive, and that just goes across. That's it. Isn't that a fun color palette? I really like it. And then the car. So then we've got the car that goes right here. You can even put it down a little bit here. This one I made the yellow bigger, which I might like better because you kind of have it like it's driving on a road. But here, and then your classic right up there. On the inside, I did a piece of designer paper, but you wouldn't have to do that much. But this piece is like a notebook, like a little torn notebook piece. I did that on the inside, and then this arrow right here so I can write my happy birthday note or stamp something in there. All right, so that is number 3. Here's for the barbecue person in your life. You're flippin' awesome with a little grill. I'm starting with Sahara Sand card. And then this pattern, which bothers me a little bit just because it goes all different ways, but it's okay. But you're gonna have an upside down pig or cow or something happening. It's just the way it's gonna go. And that goes right here. So it's just an all over pattern that can go in any direction, but just know that some will be upside down. This piece goes on the bottom, and it's the back of that one. Goes down here. So they're just gonna line up. Now on this one, there's a stitched die set that's in the new catalog coming up, and I did do that as a die, but keeping to my word that there's no die cutting, this is just a little 1/2 inch piece of the crushed curry that I made snipped a little banner into. I'm gonna cut that in half. And we're gonna do the You're Flippin' Awesome, which is right here. I'm just gonna layer that on the Sahara Sand little rectangle here, just to give it a little extra something. And these dimensionals, one on the bottom, I mean, you could do across the middle. I just thought it was fun to have them come down and then across, just to be a little different. And then you'd have a place to put those extra metallic dots. I'm gonna pop this one up with dimensionals. Okay, so I got 4 on the back. That goes right somewhere here. These little dots come in 2 sizes, which is nice. I always like it when they do that. 2, and the grill. Put that on with dimensionals too, just like that. Now I did take my yellow mango marker and just added a little yellow over top of the designer paper to pull in that yellow a little bit. On the inside, panel of white, a little bit of that designer paper, and then holy smokes, you're the best down the bottom. There you go, number 4. Right. Number 5 to Dad, Best Dad Award. Boy, this one is super easy. Cajun Craze card base. I'm going to use this one, and we're going to use this one with the glasses and the tie and all of that for the dapper person. Here, a little piece of this one. Leave a little space in between the 2. And this one, the Best Dad Award. Dimensionals on the back to pop it up, but I like that it's in that diamond shape because it fits so nicely right there. And then we can take a few of these little dots right here and here. Definitely the easiest one. On the inside, this is already ready to go. How easy is that? So you're just gonna glue that on the inside. There, so easy. You're a champ. Can do that. That kind of fits the theme right there. Cute and easy. And again, I took my yellow marker and just kind of dotted in here some of the stars just because. All right, so that's number 5. And the last one will go into the camping adventure. Sorry, I made my hill a little steep. This one I'm not going to make it because that's really an adventure trying to take the RV down that slope. But take your designer paper. You got the little bus, the VW bus it looks like. Have an espresso card base. And on the back, if you're not really sure of how to cut, I like to draw it out just to be on the safe side that I'm going in the right direction. And this time we're going to make it maybe so it's not so steep and a little bit wider there. And just draw your slope, whatever looks good. Okay, doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. And here. Glue that on. It's cute paper. This is really a little monochromatic with the soft succulent color and the espresso. There's really not many other colors in there. There. It's a little bit better. At least it doesn't look like he's, you know, going downhill and not going to make it. Couple dimensionals. Now if you want to kind of spruce this up a little bit, if you have your fine tip glue pen or crystal effects or something, what you can do is you can add the glassiness to the windows. Can you see the shine? I just added some to the windows to make them stand out a little bit. So I was going down the road, and hope your day is a grand adventure. I just made another little banner. Goes on top of there with some espresso. A couple little dimensionals back here to pop it up. Just have that down here. On the inside of this one, I did the same thing with cutting. I added this piece of soft succulent, and then I just cut a little hill like that. That gets glued right here. And then with you, I never get lost. That's so sweet. That goes right there. And there's a tree, a little die cut tree that I put behind it that's on that sheet also. A couple little stars. There it is. All right, there's all 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And what's nice is you get 2 sheets of these die cuts. You could do 12 easily, and then you still have some other stuff left over. And of course, you've got quite a bit of designer paper left over too. So I have to say, it was really kind of fun to play with. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Remember, these start May 3rd. All right, see you next time. See it, learn it, stamp it.